We are live. I'd like to call the Special Finance Committee meeting to order at 4:05. Please stand for the pledge. Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The roll call, both directors are here and needed staff. Approval of agenda, is there any change to the agenda?
No.
Motion?
Motion to approve.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Public comment, is there any public comment?
Yes, Cheryl Roden, do you have a public comment?
I might have some questions after the staff presentation and your discussion, but other than that, nothing at this time. Thank you. And please speak into your mic and turn them on.
And Gina Mills, do you have a public comment?
I do not, thank you.
Okay, number 2, public comment, we're done. Item number 3, approval of minutes. Did you have any changes to the minutes? Is there any changes? No? Motion to approve?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. So we will move to item 4, which is a review and discussion regarding 2023-2024 draft budget.
Thank you. David, you're up.
David's up, okay.
David is up.
How you doing? So I guess we can start off. Did you have a chance to fully read through the document and have certain areas that you guys wanted to touch on and review? Otherwise, we'll just kind of flow through the highlights.
Yeah, I would, we talked about a few changes. I would highlight some of the changes in the verbiage that we went through in the general manager's report.
Okay.
And then we can just kind of go through the sections and see if there are any questions from the public.
Okay. I guess we'll bring our attention to, I guess we're going to go by the big numbers. Big page 9. We're going to see the budget award received for last year's budget from GFOA, and the following page, the budget award received from CSMFO, which is the California Society of Municipal Finance Officers. That is, I was looking for the years. I know we've received both of these for a number of years now. The GFOA one was the 6th year for that award. So the district continues to put together a pretty good document.
An award-winning document.
Pretty good award. So if we go to the message from the general manager, page 14.
There were a couple things in the resolution on page 11. There were just some date issues that we needed to address, and they are correct in the resolution that will be presented tomorrow night for the board to consider, or Wednesday night for the board to consider. So those have been adjusted.
The dates in
Yeah, it says, like, for example, in the second paragraph, it says, the proposed annual budget for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024, and then in parentheses, it says, quote unquote, 2023 budget. And in the actual document, it says 2023/24 budget. And then the
I
same
read
thing-
that and it made sense when I read it.
And then, right, and then the same thing down below, where it says 24 budget, it says, actually says 2023/24 budget in the actual resolution. And it's not 11, is it, Kim? 5.
11, page 11.
Did it get changed to resolution number
It's
I
2312.
think it may be different.
2312?
Yeah, it's 2312, the resolution number.
Okay. So these are just minor little
Corrections. yes.
housekeeping things, if you will. Okay, carry on, David.
So in reading through the message from the general manager, in the first paragraph, we would like to change, the sentence starts off somewhere about in the middle of the paragraph. The budget reflects the district's dedication to provide reliable levels of service with a commitment to prudential financial management by developing policies and procedures that are efficient and cost-effective.
It says reasonable right now, and Mark recommended a few changes in here to,
Yeah, I didn't like the word reasonable.
That sounds reasonable.
You want to be reliable, not reasonable, right?
Sounds good.
We're looking for a synonym for the word staggering in the first paragraph for where have we been. Looks like the second to last sentence. The final paragraph down on the page, we're looking, the last sentence, we're going to change. The installation of the new smart meters enables customers to monitor their consumption in real time, receive alerts, and help identify when instead of if leaks are occurring at the property.
in the previous, the word staggering, I think that we had talked about replacing have been staggering, and Mark suggested, and
Placed a-
services have placed a strain on district finances instead of been staggering.
Yeah, it was a little modifying. That adjective seemed a little strong
Greatly
to me. Well, my concept was it's placing a strain on it, so, but anything, can fit in there that's an appropriate description. I don't know whether you had any thoughts on that.
No.
Staggering
Any
seemed a
thoughts on that,
little,
Don? A little staggering?
a little staggering. And then it's just the simple change of not if they occur, but when they occur, they're alerted, so.
Moving down to page 15. On the first paragraph, the last sentence, it starts off with that, along with historically. Mark suggested that we reference the actual item stated above, so we're looking at changing it to the previously stated items, along with the historically wet winter season. And then in the...
That didn't seem like a description of the previous.
And then prior to that, actually, in the fourth line down on the right, it says for agriculture, and Mark suggested eliminating the words "the district" there, because we're already stating the district at the beginning of the sentence.
Yeah, whenever I write, I don't like to use the same word twice in the same sentence.
So eliminate district in that sentence right there.
Yeah, the district is not zoned for agricultural and had to quickly adjust, rather than saying, and the district had to. So you could say, so the district had to quickly adjust, but
Whereas
the and eliminates the need for a second the district. Just the way I read it.
the start of the next paragraph, it starts off, the revised Chromium 6 regulations are in progress. And we would like to, Mark suggested changing that to the revised Chromium 6 regulations are in the process of being finalized, and the district is on schedule to meet the estimated final water quality standards.
Sounds much better.
Does that sound a little smoother?
Sounds smoother, yeah, much better.
And then throughout that paragraph, I believe there's 3 words where it references state mandates. And we're only referring to one, the Chromium 6 mandate at this time, so we're going to make all those singular. The next paragraph, the second sentence, with the consumer price index reflecting the increased cost of goods and services, the district is seeing significant, we're going to change the word impacts to increases to the costs of providing services.
Get down to the nitty-gritty, as Lori said.
And then, I believe we're in the under accomplishments, the second paragraph, the first sentence, the district was able to secure funding for the Civic Center building, which will be home to administrative staff activities and the Emergency Operations Center. We're looking at removing the comma after activities. I think we have, oh yeah, you have one more. Yes, we have one more. Thank you, Mark. Page 16.
Actually, back on page 15,
You saw another
in
one?
that same paragraph you were discussing, Mark suggested changing the second to the last sentence. The district,
After the 20-year lease of $6 million, which will be paid for the interest revenue, staff has been able rather than was able.
Oh, okay.
In that same paragraph, could you change that June 2023 to maybe July 2023? So far?
no.
Well, yes, I mean, because things will stretch out, so.
Yeah, I really think July would be a little closer to appropriate. As soon as we get the timeline from George on that, we'll nail that one down.
I'm
At
guessing,
least it's qualified with is set to, not will.
We're thinking it's estimated.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, if we can move to page 16, the last paragraph. Ooh. It's about midway down. There's a sentence, let's see. The word on the left of the paragraph is Chromium 6. So immediately following that, it's the district halted all Chromium 6 mitigation work pending the state's new regulations. We're going to add a comma, then resumed mitigation measures in 2021. We're going to take out the word and add the comma, then resumed.
Thank you for your input on this, Mark.
Because I like to stir up the nest a little.
So as we go through the documented highlights, page 20, it lists the board of directors and the district management. Then we go into our district profile and the history of it, along with some local economy statistics. which if we're looking at page 23, the very top graph is showing a very slow population growth in the district. Something to point out, it's just very slow.
What is it, about 1,000 people a year? Is that,
I would have said, I didn't even think it was, no, it's not even that. I'd say like 300
250, 300.
for the last couple of years. Yeah, 200 to 300.
For San Bernardino County, it's 1,000, I think, it looks like.
yeah, San Bernardino County's 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a lot less than that.
Then we go to page 28. This begins to list some of our budgetary controls and our financial practices. It lists our purchasing policy, our financial planning, our accounting and financial practices, along with the action table for the strategic plan, in which a lot of the budget refers to the strategic plan, and we'll have an SPG goal next to it on a lot of the items, specifically in the departmental presentations.
So, you know, the introduction is from pages 5 through 30, I guess. And then 31, it goes departmental presentations, but there's no break in the pages themselves. Did you want to identify that you're in a different section or not?
Well, actually, we do when we get to the little 31.
Oh, it's in the little 31.
Yes.
The little
Good,
number,
because
the little numbers are actually the budget document
I thought there was a
numbers.
break and I was looking for it and I can't find it.
And it's on the big page 39.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the table of contents uses the little numbers.
The little number, there it is, okay. I thought I saw that and I go, where is it? Thank you.
Are we okay with, you want me to switch to throwing out the little numbers? Or?
No, I got confused. It's not uncommon for me to do that.
Yeah, our financial policies, on the big page 32. And these can also be found on the district's website. So the budget policy, investment policy, reserves, revenue policy, purchasing policy. Then we go to page 34, which shows our sources of revenue, with water revenue being 73%. And the next largest one is the property taxes being the 13%. And then on the next page, you can see the water sales revenue history over the previous 10 years.
Those are revenues, correct?
Yes. On page 37, we will be making an adjustment as well to the middle paragraph under the dollar. The paragraph reads, historically, property tax revenue shows a significant decrease in property tax revenue between 2009 and 2014. And as the years went on, we've dropped those years off of the table to be able to fit the table in there, and we're only looking at the current 10 years within the table. So we're looking at wording, just rewording that paragraph, so we're not,
Oh, to fit the table?
Yeah, we still
Not
wanna
implying it's
state-
something that's there.
yeah, we still want to state that there was a decrease, but the table's not showing it, though.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You could just put a, not on table
yeah.
from 9 to 14.
And then we can move into the departmental presentation page break on big page 39.
There it is.
There it is.
And after that, we'll show the district's organizational chart and staffing levels summary for each.
Can I pause? Is there any comment about the introduction part from, or questions from the public? I just thought I'd go through it section by section.
Not from me, thank you.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, continue.
The departmental presentations start on big page 46 with the department overview and moves into the administration and finance department. And this highlights kind of the activities, the accomplishments of each department, the primary goals, and then, well, yeah, and then lists out the goals for the upcoming year as well.
And these tie in with the strategic plan goals.
Those are the strategic plan goals, right? Yeah.
Moves to the engineering department, lists out their goals, lists out their accomplishments. So engineering department starts on the big page
Large
50.
50. Did you have any questions about engineering? These were basically worked out when the committees made their budgets and through the strategic plan, correct?
Yes. These, actually, the departmentals are provided to each departmental manager, and they're responsible for updating where we're at on the prior year goals and what the next year goals are going to be. And the strategic plan action table is in the budget document on big page 31, if anybody wants to refer back to that for any reason.
Well, so example, on big page 52, we have engineering projects in progress and then some goals for the next fiscal year. Civic Center project, Field and Park expansion, Chromium 6, Smithson Springs. So that anybody who reviews the document can see where the different committees are focused on.
Thank you, Mark. And the next section is the water operations department and their primary services with their accomplishment and their goals. There was. With their goal, one of their main, huge goal is finishing up the meter replacement program at the very beginning of this coming budget year. Then we move into the Parks and Recreation. That had a lot of new activities last summer and is looking to continue those. Not much going on in street lighting. We have 92 lights. They're all working fantastic.
Yeah, and we've thought about adding lights, but it's not an easy process with Edison, and some people have come and passed and said, well, this street corner needs a light, and then for a while there, we ran into the dark skies committee, but I think dark skies has gone away based on the new gas station on the corner of Beakley up there. That sucker's bright.
Yeah. So one of the things with the street lighting, if you call, 10 years ago, if you would have called Edison and you want to put in a street light, not a big deal at all. You just start paying the monthly fee. Now, it's a whole different game. You're paying for the infrastructure. So
You have to pay for all the
you have
engineering
to
and
pay for
everything.
all the
huh?
infrastructure. So with the funding that we have available, we're probably at the end of our life as far as putting in new lights, unless it's with new construction, such as the gas station or something like that.
Yeah.
I just don't see us having the budget to do anything like that.
So additional street lighting probably will be associated with business
Yeah,
construction,
with
most
development.
likely.
Yeah,
Or
correct.
maybe some larger development.
That's correct.
And the final presentation is the solid waste and recycling presentation. List out their programs, projects in progress, some goals, and the number of their customers continues to rise. Was there any-
Okay, is there any questions about the second portion, which is departmental presentations? Anybody online that wants to make any comments or have questions?
Thanks.
No question.
Okay. All right, thank you. That brings us to the budget financial reports.
Yes, and on page 62, you can see a large historical financial history and budget comparison dating all the way back to 2009, 2010.
Bring out the magnifier.
Yes.
Any particular highlights in there?
I don't think so. So if we go into the budget overview, page 64. So the total budget for the district for operational revenues is at $8,282,000, with $8,262,000 of that being related to enterprise for the operational revenues. And then the operational expenses for enterprise are at $8,403,000 for this coming year. And the governmental funds expenses are $1,261,000. And then we have the non-operational revenues total for the district are $4,952,000, with the non-operational expenses of $1,384,000. So you have a subtotal for revenue for the district for the enterprise fund is coming in at $784,000, and $1,401,803 for government, with a total revenue of $2,185,803. And then we list out the unfunded depreciation. We list out principal payments on the loans for the upcoming year. So our subtotal for revenue is $2,104,527. With repayment to reserves and then the capital budget. The enterprise fund total net revenue for the year is coming in at $41,000 and governmental fund, $952,687 for a total for the district of $993,000, 689. Page 65 highlights some of the big impacts to the budget.
Which might be,
In the first paragraph, we reference the savings of $1,113,000 after the loan payment. That was for the purchase of the water rights, and that's due to the constant ramp down from the Mojave of water production allowed in the area. Salaries and benefits reflect a 13.8% increase over this estimated year end. That budget includes a COLA increase and a possible merit increases, and one additional employee in the governmental section to deal with the
waste, solid waste.
all the new stuff. Professional fees are estimated to be 17.7% lower due to reduction in outside services. Utilities are 6.1% higher due to a projected increase of 4% by Edison in this coming year. So our total operational expenses are estimated to increase by 2.4%.
Which is way below the inflation rate.
That's true.
Non-operational income, property tax revenue is projected to increase 5.8. Penalties and other fees. Now this is income. It is expected to increase by 11%. The meter installation and capacity fees are expected to increase 3%. That's with an increase to the capacity fees and then offset by the reduced number of new meters that we're expecting this coming year. So other income shows an increase of 8.9%, and that's primarily due to the higher interest income we're able to receive in this market, along with the new lease agreements. Non-operational expenses, we're showing will increase this year, and that's due to the new loan for the Civic Center. So if we jump down to page 71, there starts some graphs here that show the breakdown of the operational revenues, with 55% of that being water consumption and 38% of that being from the meter charges. And then you get to see the breakdown of the operational expenses on page 72. With depreciation coming in at 19% of the overall, service and supplies 21%, utilities, the electricity, the phone, the pumping, the gas coming in at 11%, and salaries coming in at 43% of the operational expenses. Non-operational revenues on page 73. And then the non-operational expenses on page 74. Then we get to dive into the detailed budget comparison. The budget, to actual estimated year in, to the budget for last year, to the budget for this coming year. And we've went over this a few times. Did you guys have,
Numerous times.
do you guys want to touch on anything in that section?
I think we've made adjustments, all we can do at this point.
Yeah.
Been over it 3 times, we should be good.
So then page 80, then we could jump to, this lists out the district's fund balances and cash flow projections. With our estimated beginning cash flow at the beginning of the year being $26,589,000. Board approved reserves coming in at $11,767,000, and restricted funds for the water rights and water resources of $559,618. So total cash available at the beginning of the year is going to be $14,262,000. With operational activities, that gives you another cash available of $4,056,000 for the year. Investment activities is showing the money to be spent on the projects of $13,615,000. That's primarily for the Civic Center. Capital purchases of $165,000. For the total activity to be $13,780,000. Finance activities, the principal due on the outstanding loans, along with receiving the grant funds for the Civic Center, for the Emergency Operations Center. So that adds another $1,170,000 to give us a net cash from activity of negative $8,553,000. So the net cash projected at the year end, as of 6/30/2024, will be net cash available, $5,323,000. And we mentioned the reserves on that page, and then so page 81 gives the breakdown of the reserve schedule, which is also mentioned early on in the document, the reserves policy, which establishes how much the board approved for each reserve fund. Page 82 lists out the debt service, which is we have 4 outstanding loans. And that covers that section.
Isn't the Caltrans zero? Isn't that zero interest?
Not quite.
1%?
Oh,
The
the
Caltrans loan?
Interest rate
Yeah,
is 1.5 it's showing, but it's,
1.5.
yeah. It's pretty close,
close, but not quite zero.
pretty close.
I thought it was zero. I don't know why I thought that.
Do we have any questions to wrap up that section?
I do on the Caltrans loan. It showed in one spot it's 0.912, and then in another spot 1.5. Did it change after it originated?
You're talking about in the verbiage, the original loan of 252,000 at 0.912%. And then it shows a 1.5% interest rate. Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly right.
We'll have to verify that.
Yeah, we'll have to verify.
And here I thought it was zero, darn it.
I think 0.912 is, well,
Thank you for catching that.
Well, that loan will only last another year or so, right?
yeah, it's almost finished.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 24, yeah.
That was for work on 138, correct?
Yeah, that was the Highway 138 widening.
Right. Right. Okay, we will check on the actual interest rate for that loan.
So then we move into the capital improvement program section. On page 86 lists the upcoming projects for the district.
Well, let's,
See if there's more.
no, I just wanted to check, is there any other questions about the budget and financial records section from,
Yes, although I'm not following with the document, I'm looking at you on the Zoom screen. I have a couple questions, one relative to, and you tell me if this should wait until later. One relative to the solid waste projection revenue, the revenues, the projection for that. I see that we're not adding in the increase in the bin fee. We're not going to project that out yet.
No, we can't begin to estimate what the change in service levels is going to be at this time, which is why we did a rate stay to determine what service actually looks like. We're actually estimating that we have about 1,500 or so bin customers, so that's a dumpster. And we think there's going to be a fall off on those type of customers down to the more basic level service and just adding barrels. And so until the dust settles after everything is implemented, it's too hard to kind of come up with an increase for that.
Right, makes sense. I just wanted to know if that's what you were doing. And on the production side, have you been able to quantify at all the percentage that was the illegal cannabis grows and breakout from that theft versus paid accounts that dropped off because they were closed down?
that would be probably the difference in maybe 2020 versus 2021 production?
Yeah, yes, that is going to be part of it. I don't have an accurate number of that right now, but we just haven't done the calculations for that because fairly complicated. We have to look at the number of accounts, the ones we've added, and also not all of the grows that were on the system have been stopped, and not all of, and some of them are still going, and then we have the community water service too. So I don't have that number off the top of my head.
Okay, and do we know if the state is, on the CR6, is going to accept our profiling for the wells versus having to do all kinds of blending?
Yeah, so with the Chromium 6 project, the state doesn't care how we do our profiling or anything else. All they care about is what the final number is. If we can keep the number below 10 parts per billion, we're good. They don't care how we do it, as long as we are able to meet that. The profiling only gives us a way of knowing where the chromium is coming from and not pumping from those zones, which reduces the total chromium in the water that's produced.
Yeah, so the chromium 6 is a wellhead issue. Each well has to be under the limit, or that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So
Right.
as part of the go ahead.
I was just going to say congratulations on coming up with that.
Yeah, thank you. Our staff is excellent at coming up with a way to do this. Originally, it was a $17 million project in dollars from 10 years ago, with quite a bit of pumping and moving water from the dairies up. But just by changing our pumping habits in the different zones that we pump from, we're able to comply, I think, if not with all of it, but the majority of the wells that we have. And the only downside to that is we do have some lost production from each of the wells when we do, because we have to slow down the pumping a little bit. You lose some percentage of the water production for each well. Therefore, we have to add additional wells to make up the production to meet our maximum day demands. And we have to have a place to store that water also, because we're definitely changing our pumping habits in the process.
Thank you. And then my only other question, I think, is and I'm not sure you've got to it yet. I just noticed some difference between the snow line schools, what we identify as schools, which I guess is snow line, the difference in the budget lines versus the line when on the largest user. Those were different numbers. The estimated actual for schools is 303,000, and then the largest user is Snowline on page 84 at 322, and you're projecting for next year at 336. So I just wanted to understand the differences.
The statistical data doesn't have the full year's worth of data in it yet. Right, David?
Which one?
Well, it is pulled, it's 1 year of activity, but it's through March. It's March to March.
Well, it says 6:30 on there. That's
And I
what
think
usually
maybe-
updated after the year end.
The total, if she's only, you could only be referring to one line, total consumption, which is only half of the charge versus if you're not looking at the meter charge as well, the meter revenues. What line are you looking at on the budget for the schools?
On the budget, it said schools, estimated actual 303,000, and then for the 2023-4 budget, 336. And I couldn't hardly hear what people were saying because a few people were cross-talking. I'm sorry.
She's looking at consumption.
So 40 and that would be 352. And they're coming at 322. Oh, and is the only one, huh? That's just weird.
I'll tell you what, I can send my question to you rather than hold up the meeting, because I'm just trying to inform myself on this one.
Yeah, do you have specific page and lines that you're referencing?
I do for the page that the largest users is listed on, I don't think you got to yet. It's page 84, and Snowline is listed at 322,000.
Big page 92.
Yeah, we're not there yet, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
I said that. So
yeah.
back in the budget, the school, the estimated projection for schools, which I assume is just snow line, is 336 for next year. And the estimated actual was 303.
I say 322.
Well, 322 is the actual, on big page 92. 322 is their usage from March to March. On the budget, the 303 that you're looking at is a projected year end for this year. So it's it's not the exact same time frame that you're looking at.
That's what I thought. So the largest user is March to March? April
That's
to
when
March?
this document is prepared. So to get the most recent data, I'm using a March to March timeframe, yes.
Oh, okay. And then, because Snowline didn't open until August last year, too. So they had a lower usage because of COVID.
They were still probably using their water to water the grass and all that.
Yeah, irrigate. Most of the consumption is irrigation.
Thank you.
So that finishes the budget financial report section, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So as we move into the capital improvement projects on page 86, we're listing out just a small amount. We're kind of halting on the Chromium 6 right now until we get a final number of what the requirement's going to be on the spending. We're finishing up the meter replacement program. The Civic Center and the Phelan Park expansion should begin construction this coming year. Some solid waste projects. The vehicle replacements. And then those dollar amounts again are listed and broken down with the funding sources on page 88.
Capital expenditure budget. Yep. We've seen this document a few times.
So were there any questions on the capital improvement section?
Any questions on that section?
None from me, thank you.
Okay. So next is budget forecast.
That's a forecast model, just projects out the next 5 years using a fixed 6% increase to rates, 5% for COLA, and a 2.5% for expenses.
So you just fix in a 5% for COLA
And merit, yeah,
and a
Combined.
2.5, just leave that as a fixed
yeah.
to project out, okay.
And I think
All right, it's a one pager. And then statistics and trends, that's, can't do too much arguing with that.
Nope. We can see some growth in the meters on page 93 over the last, looks like 4 years, compared to the previous 5 or 6 years. And the water production on the bottom graph on page 93. After the spike in 2021, production has come back due to the illegal grows, Production has come back down. It looks like a normal level over the previous 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, so just looking at those, that chart, it would be difficult to identify you can see that the big increase between 1920 and 2020-21, but then it's dropped off since then, so. Due to numerous factors, I believe.
Oh yeah, what she was touching on was page 92. The bottom table lists the 10 largest system users over the last year.
It says as of 6:30, which this will be updated after 6:30 for our final document for presentation for the award purposes.
Big page 94 is a table of historical and future water rates for the district.
And the future ones are assumptions. Well,
No, I
we can go
believe it only
through,
goes through 25, which
through
were
25, right?
approved.
Yeah, through,
Yes.
through 2025 is approved.
Yes.
Okay.
Page 95 looks at the district compared to other other areas in the high desert for the same monthly 15 units of water used.
That includes the Chromium 6 surcharge, right, David?
Yes, it does.
That does include that. And what is that, 11? Is it $11 a month?
$9.71.
$9.71, okay. Okay, so if we didn't have that, that would put us pretty close to Hellendale CSD. Okay. That's pretty good, actually, because they have an easy system.
Not quite as vast as ours.
No, they have 2 tanks up on 2 hills and 2 good wells in the river, and that's it.
Page 96 is a statement about the water rights. It lists the water rights the district has available to them, and then the ramp down percentages that have been applied. Lists the production amount. It kind of just breaks down what we're paying and then what we would have been paying if we had not purchased the water rights in 2012, I believe.
12 and 15.
Okay. So you see each year down on the bottom, in the last bold line, $400,000 the first couple of years, and then now over $1 million per year in the last 2 years of savings.
And that increase is due to the increase that Mojave charges for replacement water now?
Yes.
Wow, they've gone up, haven't they?
That and the ramp down.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look at Mojave, they've actually dropped off a little bit. In 2020, they were at $604 an acre foot. 2019, they were 591. We were at 584 right now, so it has dropped a little bit.
It's stabilized, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, for a while, it was going up significantly every year, a good percentage.
Well, it started out at 395 and it went up over 600 at one point.
Yeah, it's expensive. That's why the dairy's better every year.
Yeah.
How did they determine the ramp down for the free production allowance?
The ramp down for the free production allowance, what they did is they calculated what they think is the basin safe yield, and they know that they need to hit that number for a number of years, which is about 25% of the free production allowance. So what they did for a number of years, we were able to talk to Mojave and get a stay on the ramp down, and we remained at, I believe it was 80% for a number of years. There's a new judge in the case now, same water master who presents the same information the same way every year. And he is hitting 5% every year with no hesitation whatsoever. And it's going to continue to ramp down. So we're looking at alternatives for a number of things that we can do to either get additional FPA. But again, if you buy, let's say you were to go out and buy some additional free production allowance, maybe 1,000 acre feet around number, in about 5 years is going to be 25% of that. You could pump $250 an acre or 250 acre feet of water. So that really kind of
Crimps the
prices you
value.
out. If the price isn't right for the water, it's not a good deal. But we are, with the conservation we've had and the reduced production of the basin, we're looking at maybe pushing a few more years. We went from about 4 years to having to lease water, and we're probably in the 5 to 6 year range now. So it buys us a little bit of time in the process.
Do they take the wet year into consideration at all?
They do
or
not.
they not?
No, it's certain wells that they monitor based on water levels.
For levels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we extended it out initially because basically by water rights purchases, you're retiring that. So we're buying it from another producer and just our own consumption. So we didn't use all that, so we retired a lot of that water. But it's starting to catch up now.
Thank you.
I believe that's the end of the budget presentation. If you had any other questions or the audience had other questions.
You're not going to go over the glossary
You
of
don't wanna-
acronyms and terms?
Please, no.
Is there any further questions from public?
Yes. Just congratulations to the staff again for a great document, really great information put together clearly and transparently, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. Okay, we will then move to item 5, which is committee comments. Do you have any comment?
I just want to say thank you to staff also for putting together the document, and David, great job doing the presentation.
Yes, and thank you for the document. Thank you for being patient with my comments. Item 6 is review of action items. Did we have any from the prior meeting?
Put them away.
I gotcha.
Yeah, we got you the porta potty information. That's complete.
Okay, that was important. Okay, and current meeting, I don't think we have any, just,
No, we're gonna summarize the changes that were gone through today, and then I'll just have a handout for the board on Wednesday.
yeah, that'll be for Wednesday. Okay. Setting agenda for the next meeting, which is July 18th. That's a ways away. We won't have item 4.
Yeah, we'll go to our regular agenda. This is just a special meeting
Yeah,
agenda.
oh, this is a special meeting, okay. So we'll have the regular agenda for that. Any other comments, questions? No? With that, we will adjourn the Special Finance Committee meeting at 5:10. Thank you all.